Well, here you have the Queen Cobra of the ring, CAT KREED. Someone with a great deal of physical charisma, someone with a great deal of confidence as she enters the ring. She knows what she has to work with in front of her. Of course, going one-on-one with Toronto's own JODY THREAT, one of Ontario's finest out exports. Someone that KREED will have a very, very, very big task ahead of her if she wishes to take down JODY THREAT. But again, this is the type of year where one big win in December can lead to a whole boatload of things to come in January and beyond in 2025. So a big win necessary now for CAT KREED to end 2024 on a high note. Here in Parkdale Hall as one of Toronto's own and one of Ontario's favorites, JODY THREAT, runs wild around the ring once again, one more time in 2024 here in Demand Lucha.
As we settle in there, what an ovation for Wild Child JODY THREAT. And there's a lot of popular competitors at Demand Lucha, but JODY THREAT is certainly one of the most, if not the most here, and a former champion, openweight champion in her own right. And this match, I'm sure, would like to propel her back into contention through some of that gold here. And these two ladies have faced off before, Tempest, but never in a Demand Lucha ring. This is the second appearance here for the Queen Cobra, all the way from Montreal. And it's a classic rivalry. It's Montreal against Toronto right here at Parkdale Hall.
Well, it's one that I would like to think Toronto has come up on the right end of things for a lot more in recent years than perhaps historically. But there's no question who Toronto's favorite wrestler is in Demand Lucha, and it is JODY THREAT. Her resume speaks for itself. We're getting a singing of happy birthday here, but that is not what CAT KREED came to Demand Lucha to partake in. Jumping JODY THREAT here in the early goings of our match.
Well, Katrina KREED understands that she needs to take the fight to the Wild Child JODY THREAT, one of the most unpredictable competitors in a Demand Lucha ring. And to be honest with you, I'm a little shocked she didn't come out here with some beer.
Well, I don't dislike the strategy of CAT KREED to try and get an early advantage when you're going up against such an established veteran like JODY THREAT. But thus far, you gotta have a better strategy in mind if you're gonna take down a veteran such as THREAT. JODY THREAT quick to regain the momentum here, regain the upper hand, and now looking to finish off the count of 10 with a big clothesline in the corner.
Well, what a message KREED would send if she could secure a victory here over JODY THREAT, but she's looking worse for wear. Northern Light suplex attempt from the Wild Child, but CAT KREED had her scouted. A couple back elbows threw JODY THREAT off her game plan. Running through CAT KREED once again with that clothesline.
It's an explosive, powerful clothesline from JODY THREAT.
Maybe JODY THREAT has something scouted here on KREED, maybe has a weakness in that neck, and maybe we're gonna see standing vertical suplex. JODY THREAT definitely loves to show off that power, Tempest.
And she's got it in spades, walking around the ring with CAT KREED suspended over her head, upside down, and dropping her with a vertical suplex.
Jody Threat has really matured and grown up in front of our very eyes here at Demand Lucha, especially since being associated with TNA Impact Wrestling, and really has come into her own. What an incredible return it would be here for Jody Threat to get a victory and send a message that she's still at the top of the ladder here at Demand Lucha. This is a bit unusual here though, Tempest. You don't see Jody Threat go to the top too often.
Well, I was about to say it's high risk, high reward. And right now, Jody Threat is experiencing, the former half of that statement. Thrown off the top rope. Now just at the will of CAT KREED. Again, you talk about the resume of Jody Threat. You talk about the impact, pun intended, she's made in TNA. One half of the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions as part of Spitfire with Danny Luna. What would it mean for CAT KREED to knock off someone with such a resume?
It would put her immediately on the radars, I'm sure, of TNA Impact officials. Shot to the midsection, exchange from both ladies here.
Not only that, of course, but you look at the championship hierarchy here in Demand Lucha, and a big win over Jody Threat, you'd have to imagine would put CAT KREED in some form of title contention.
Well, I don't envy the official here, Brad Myers. He's in between two fiery redheads here at Parkdale Hall. CAT KREED in control now on Jody Threat. She needs to keep on the offense if she wants to secure a victory over someone the caliber of Jody Threat, who will take any opportunity she can, including with that quick roll-up.
Superb technique on display from Jody Threat, but all that was needed to combat that was a big knee from CAT KREED. And once again, Jody Threat is fighting from her knees. Fighting to even get to her knees with the help of the ropes.
CAT KREED certainly impressed some of the Demand Lucha top brass. That's why she's back here. She's got a hell of a competitor. She took her over hard with that snap suplex. Jody Threat holding on by a bare thread here at Parkdale Hall, still able to roll back into the ring.
Delayed cover now. Still only two, but it becomes a longer 2 count each time as Jody Threat's forced to exert a little bit more effort every time that she has to kick out.
Submission attempt here on Jody Threat, and it's tough. I don't think in all my years I've ever seen Jody Threat submit here at Demand Lucha. Tonight might be a first.
Not just yet, though. If you know Jody Threat like I do and like all these people do, you know that there is not 1 ounce of quit inside that body.
Eyes are watching on not only in Parkdale Hall but across the internet, all over the globe here, with 2 top competitors in Canada's women's wrestling scene. Jody Threat whipping KREED to the middle rope here, looking for those double knees. KREED out of there in the nick of time.
On a big lung blower, though. Drops Jody Threat to her knees as she struggles back to her feet in the corner. Now CAT KREED run with a big uppercut.
Great execution there from KREED. Really took the wind out of Jody Threat there. Following up with that knee, and that looked like a tooth almost flying.
It might have been a tooth flying into the second row of ringside. The referee is now going to check on Jody Threat.
Good call there from our senior official, Brad Myers, needing to check in on Jody Threat. But I'm sure Jody Threat, never say die attitude, not ready to call the quits here, and certainly not impressed with CAT KREED, and neither are the fans here in Toronto of Montreal's favorite queen, Cobra, CAT KREED. Oh, she couldn't even have a swig of that beer. CAT KREED knew it was like spinach for Popeye. If Jody Threat could get some of that beer, just a little swill of it, she'd come back into the game.
Yeah, maybe CAT KREED had Jody a bit more scoped out beforehand than we had given her credit for.
Jody Threat ducks out of it. Connects with an overhead chop of her own. Backs KREED up again for a second helping. Licks that palm, puts a little stink on it. Jody Threat now puts a little seasoning.
Well, when your hand is quite as beet red as that, you need some help cooling it off.
Too much fun and shenanigans for Jody Threat. She paid the price there. It was all that CAT KREED needed. That jawbreaker puts the Wild Child hard against that ring post here.
As we've already seen, and as we know about her already, Jody Threat enjoys having a good time. You know, the Wild Child may just be, you know, a nickname, but it's a way of life for Jody. But the aggression from CAT KREED, I think, is what's really caught me off guard the most thus far. She is taking it to Jody Threat, throwing her into the ring post, throwing her around ringside now. And if she keeps this up, she will have a very, very prominent W in her win column as she closes out this year.
And not to make excuses for Jody Threat, but I'm sure she was inadequately able to prepare for this matchup. Big time slap across that face. I don't think there's any respect between these two ladies. But inadequately able to prepare for this match, I was going to say Tempest, because Jody Threat keeps that international travel schedule. And this match wasn't scheduled to be one-on-one here, but card subject to change, and we love to feature the Ladies of Lucha here at Demand. And how could you not when you have somebody like our homegrown star of Jody Threat, who says it's all over. Give her some of that beer.
Well, you called it. She's getting fired up. She's getting powered up.
And you notice she took beer from the fans, though, not from the bar. Oh! Jody Threat ain't paying. Who is picking up the tab here tonight? Are we going to tab the beers here to Hutch Henry's?
Well, it just might be CAT KREED picking up the tab after that move. Goodness me. Everyone involved is down now. There's a sea of kids looking on at the destruction that's just been caused by Jody Threat.
A sea of kids in a stun of silence as the ladies are a bit concerned here, but Jody Threat going to muster up some of that liquid courage, standing, getting on her knees here at the bar. She's going to chug them back. Is that a Parkdale Ale?
She's a woman of the people as they all cheer her on. 2 feet high on the bar, slamming one back before she goes to business.
Boot to
Don't
the
you
face.
interrupt Jody Threat while she's drinking.
Will it be enough here for Jody Threat to put away CAT KREED? Whips her back into the ring.
Here we go, Jody Threat now starting to piece some offense together. A series of clotheslines now.
We're to make sure that Jody Threat gets a designated driver after this match. CAT KREED look for an opening, cook a boot to the midsection. There's a drive-by kick from Jody Threat right there. Oh yeah,
The
Jody
Wild
Threat's
Child
feeling it.
looking for the double knees in the back, and she's found it. Those knees have found their target. CAT KREED
Trying to bring her over for that German, but CAT KREED holding on for dear life, Tempest.
She was able to cause some separation, albeit just for a moment, with a Michinoku driver from Jody Threat. Only good for a 2 count, though. That may have been Jody Threat's best chance so far, but she just might need to stitch together a few more moves to make this one purely academic.
Jody Threat really thought she had won that there, but CAT KREED, what a great performance from her here tonight. Really put up a great fight here against Jody Threat thus far. Jody Threat's got something else to figure out here.
Again, showing why she is Toronto's favorite star. Taking CAT KREED up top now, perching her up on the top rope. Jody Threat. She's polling the crowd now.
Jody Threat does love karaoke, especially after a few beers. Taking a couple of forearms right to the face there. Maybe a power bomb coming on, but Jody Threat trying to hold on. Rams KREED back to those buckles. Turns around on that crossbody from the inside. Wow, 2 count.
Still not enough for a 3. And now Jody is beginning to show signs of frustration for the first time really in this match. She's starting to throw some of her bigger shots at CAT KREED, and they are not enough to keep Creed down.
Fans coming to life here for the Wild Child. Trying to go for that patented F5 style finisher that she likes to employ. Oh, catching Jody Threat up in those ropes. And you can really do some serious damage on that neck.
Absolutely, and Jody Threat has not moved. The people are chanting her name as she's beginning to stir. But now needs to be the time that CAT KREED puts the finishing touches on this match. Instead, we've seen more separation than we have seen to this point, giving Jody Threat a chance to recover. The drop kick to the outside now reignites this crowd and Jody Threat's offense.
CAT KREED looks out of it. Jody Threat tries to get some encouragement here from the fans in Toronto. Oh no!
Shoulder first into the ring post.
Big time miscalculation from the Wild Child. And we already saw a submission attempt, and that could just soften that up on that neck and that shoulder. Roll through on that spear, running right through.
Now a swinging neck breaker from CAT KREED.
Oh!
And still not enough to put Toronto's Wild Child away.
That was real close there. Back to that submission, just like I was touching on Tempest. You know that CAT KREED came in here with a game plan. She had to. When you're facing someone like Jody Threat, and Jody Threat's in a lot of trouble, she's turned away from those ropes. She's in the center of the ring. There's a long way for her to go to get to those ropes.
You can go into a match like this with a game plan. You can have a strategy in mind, but you can't count on the will and the heart of Jody Threat.
CAT KREED frustrated now, just gonna smother her out with that front face lock.
Now Jody Threat being put in a guillotine choke. The hooks are in deep.
She needs to hook those legs behind Jody Threat, wrench those legs together and lock that hold good. You can see she's unable to do it. Jody Threat trying to hold on here.
CAT KREED really wrenching back on the torque of the neck. But Jody Threat has fought up to her feet once again.
Incredible power from Jody Threat.
Launching her with a Northern Light suplex. Jody Threat, the Wild Child of Toronto, now with the separation needed. She nails a big boot and a spear.
Almost knocking KREED out of the ring.
And now, finally, Jody Threat looking for the 4-1-6.
It's over right here.
1, 2, seal it, done. Well, again, you don't find yourself with a name and reputation quite like that of Jody Threat without being able to pull out an unbelievable come-from-behind victory time and time again, like Jody has and will do again. An incredible match, an incredible performance, and an incredible ovation from all of her fans here at Parkdale Hall.